Good evening, everyone. I'm Assistant Chief Ruel Stephenson. Present with me is Deputy Inspector Scott Callahan, Commanding Officer of the 2-3 Precinct, and Captain Derek Bentley, Force Investigation Division. I'm going to provide some information about a police-involved shooting that took place earlier this afternoon here in East Harlem. The information that I'm going to provide is preliminary and subject to change. So at approximately 5:30 p.m., a member of this community walked into this station house behind me to inform our officers that an irate male was armed with a knife attempting to stab a group of people. A uniformed sergeant and 2 police officers exited the precinct to provide assistance. The officers crossed the street and saw the male armed with a knife running and attempting to stab a victim. The situation was extremely chaotic and fast. The officers gave numerous verbal commands to the male to drop the knife. However, he continued to run after the victim while wielding the knife. The male lunged at an officer in the street with the knife. He then ran to the sidewalk, still chasing the victim. As this is occurring, our officers are continuing to order the male to drop the knife. At this point on the sidewalk, the male lunged at a second officer. That officer deployed a taser which struck the male but was ineffective. As the officer discharged the taser, the male then swung the knife at the officer, missing her face by mere inches. The sergeant, seeing the male trying to slash the officer, has no choice but to discharge his firearm. The sergeant discharged 1 round, which struck the male in the buttocks. The 36-year-old male was subsequently taken into custody and removed to an area hospital where he's stable condition. He has a documented history of mental illness with the department. A knife was recovered at the scene. The officers were removed to an area hospital for evaluation, and charges on this individual is pending. Thankfully, no civilian was injured by this male. This police department is the most restrained police department in the nation, and we use force as a last resort. Unfortunately, today, all of our attempts to de-escalate this fast-moving incident, which lasted 34 seconds, were unsuccessful. This incident was captured on the officer's body cameras. The initial incident was also captured on security cameras, which shows the male trying to stab a group of people. The investigation will be handled by Force Investigation Division. Any additional information will be provided by DCPI as it becomes available. We'll now take a few questions.
We're going to take some questions. We're going to start with Steve Bagel, New York Post.
Could you talk about any of his priors? You said that he has a history of mental illness. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, so he has two encounters with the police, both in May, where he was removed and evaluated at a area hospital for that condition.
We're going to move over to Alicia Reed, WCBS.
Thanks for taking my question. How many officers were outside in total at the time of the incident?
A total of 3, a sergeant and 2 uniform officers.
We're going to move over to Richard from Foxtrot.
You said a total of 34 seconds, the whole thing?
A total of 34 seconds from the time our officers observed the individual chasing the female. It took a minute 15 seconds from the time we were informed in the station house.
34 seconds from when they observe him to when they shoot.
Correct.
We're going to move over to
Ron, with your
Ron,
thank you. Do you know if there was any sort of relationship between the person who was initially being targeted by this man?
That's still being investigated. What we do know that there was a dispute with that male, and we believe 4 other individuals.
We're going to move over to Jess Pennington, WNBC.
Does this man live in this community, in this neighborhood, in the housing over there, or?
No, his last known address, I believe, is somewhere in the Bronx.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you.